Barbados survives tropical storm Dorian virtually unscathed. And in sport, Guyana Jaguars' new head coach begins preparing for the team for the CONCACAF Nations League. I'm Ricardo Robertson. This is Caribbean in 10 for Tuesday, August 27th. I'll be back with the details after the break.
All right, guys, we're going straight into our women's finals here in beautiful Racine, Wisconsin. We have Amy and Lisa versus Jessica and Delaney. Lisa starts us off, serves out over to Delaney. Delaney goes on up into the block of Amy. She hits over on one. Delaney hits it over on one. Amy goes back up. Returns to Taylor.
You know, we hear about the dangers of identity theft all the time. Sophisticated computer hackers break into databases of companies with eerie regularity, stealing the sensitive information of millions of consumers. Companies like Saks Fifth Avenue, Target, Walmart, even Equifax have all been hit, and it's more than probable that some of your data is out there on the dark web. Federal authorities in Washington state said they have caught the person who hacked into Capital One's computers and made off with the personal information.
Tropical storm Dorian passed across Barbados and St. Lucia between last night and this morning, but spared the islands major damage. Watches and warnings for the two islands, as well as St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada, were called off this morning, and the all-clear given in Barbados and St. Lucia, ending national shutdowns that had been in effect in those islands. In Barbados, the all-clear was given by 5 a.m. The Grantley Adams International Airport reopened 2 hours later, and the public service resumed operations at 10 a.m. The Department of Emergency Management said there were 9 incidents, with most of those related to fallen trees and power lines, a case of a fallen wall, and 1 incident of a lifting roof which led to an evacuation. At a press conference this morning, Prime Minister Mia Mottley cautioned that there was still a while to go before the end of the hurricane season, but Dorian had given some indication of the country's readiness.
That this was early in the season for this, and we have to be conscious that we are not yet at November 30th, which is the end of the hurricane season. Indeed, we still have 3 full months to go. If ever there was a dry run in preparing ourselves, this effectively could be considered a dry run, and some may even say by the absence of the volume of rain that we had. But in addition to that, it allowed us to be able to mobilize and to focus on some areas, and I'm satisfied that that initial work done on Sunday by the government and the private operators and ordinary citizens made a significant difference to our state of readiness and therefore to the consequences that we would have faced.
The Prime Minister also stressed that Barbadians should give thanks and praise that the country had been largely spared, and she urged them to not get complacent. Over in St. Lucia, the Met Office said Dorian continues to move away from the island, and the threats from hazards associated with the storm have diminished considerably. The tropical storm warning was called off at 8 a.m. and advisories on the system discontinued. But small craft operators are being advised to remain in port, and residents of flood-prone areas have been urged to continue exercising caution.
The St. Lucia Meteorological Services will issue additional statements if the need arises. As a consequence, the Prime Minister has approved the all-clear for St. Lucia effective 10 a.m. In that regard, employers are advised to determine time for reopening of their businesses. Additionally, it is recommended that employees verify with their employers regarding reporting time for work. The public is further advised to contact business places regarding opening hours.
Meantime, heavy rains and gusty winds from Tropical Storm Dorian are still affecting the northern Windward Islands and southern Leeward Islands. In the latest advisory issued at 11 a.m., the storm was about 60 miles west-northwest of St. Lucia and moving towards the west-northwest at 13 miles per hour. Although Dorian is a bit weaker, with maximum sustained winds down to 50 miles per hour, forecasters say slow strengthening is expected during the next 48 hours. Tropical storm Dorian is forecast to be near hurricane strength when it moves close to Puerto Rico and eastern Hispaniola tomorrow. A tropical storm warning is in effect for Martinique, Puerto Rico and portions of the eastern Dominican Republic, while a tropical storm watch remains in effect for Dominica and Saba and St. Eustatius. And stay with us, your Midday Sport is next. The newly appointed coach of Guyana's senior men's football squad has started working to prepare the side for the CONCACAF Nations League. The details in this HGP Sport report.
The newly appointed Golden Jaguars head coach Marcio Maximo has hit the ground running, preparing the Guyana-based Golden Jaguars for the upcoming CONCACAF Nations League. The coaches of the elite clubs are scheduled to benefit from his interaction with the team. This initiative is geared towards building the capacity of the local coaches, where they will have the opportunity to observe the sessions and ask questions as necessary. In the meantime, a 31-man Guyana-based provisional squad is in training at the GFF National Training Center Providence for the CNL. Guyana's first match is scheduled for September the 6th against Aruba in Curacao. Guyana would play 3 home and 3 away matches. Starting on September the 6th, it will be Aruba versus Guyana in Curacao. Then Guyana will face off with Jamaica in Guyana on October the 9th. Then on October the 11th in Antigua against Antigua and Barbuda.
Over to action in the Parapan American Games in Lima, Peru, where Bermudan Jessica Cooper-Lewis copped silver in the women's 800 T53 final in Peru yesterday. The wheelchair sprinter finished second in a time of 2 minutes, 8.99 seconds behind Yen Huang of the United States, who took gold in 2 minutes, 8.9 seconds. Copping the bronze was Venezuelan Diaz Sotuno, who finished in 2 minutes, 35.46 seconds. On Saturday, Lewis had stormed to the finish line in the women's T53 400 meters final ahead of 2 Americans to win gold. She executed the perfect race, making a flying start and finishing in a time of 1 minute 5.95 seconds, a second faster than Yen Huang of the United States, who came in second in 1 minute 2.95. Kelsey Lefevre, also of the U.S., placed third in 1 minute 2.97 seconds. That's Caribbean in 10. Join us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.